got mail.
Okay. For some reason, I just had to share this email. I feel like I'm flashbacking to 1990s, somewhere along the lines in the AOL days. Because I got one of those chain emails that they used to exist, I swear they did, where somebody would just attach all their friends, empty their contact list, and send you kind of jokes or inappropriate thing for work. And maybe that's why I stopped not safe for work stuff. I'm not sure. Maybe everybody just stopped checking their emails. But anyway, I started reading this one because it came from my, let's see, how could we say this? My grandmother's boyfriend, so step grandfather? All right, whatever. Step grandfather. And all of his 80-year-old friends. Here we go. I just wanted to read it to you. It started to be a little interesting and funny as little interesting tidbits. So here we go. In George Washington's days, there were no cameras. One's image was either sculpted or painted. Some paintings of George Washington showed him standing behind a desk with one arm behind his back, while others showed both legs and both arms. Prices charged by painters were not based on how many people were to be painted, but by how many limbs were to be painted. Arms and legs are limbs, therefore painting them would cost the buyer more, hence the expression, okay, but it'll cost you an arm and a leg. Because artists know hands and arms are more difficult to paint. I don't buy that for a second, but it sounds good. As incredible as it sounds, men and women took baths only twice a year, May and October. Women kept their hair covered while men shaved their heads because of lice and bugs, and wore wigs. Wealthy men could afford good wigs made from wool. They couldn't wash the wigs, so to clean them, they would carve out a loaf of bread, put the wig in a shell, and bake it for 30 minutes. The heat would make the wig big and fluffy, hence the term big wig. Today, we often use the term here comes the big wig because someone appears to be or is powerful and wealthy. I don't know. I feel like these all aren't true, but I believe that one for some reason. In the late 1700s, many houses consisted of a large room with only one chair, commonly a long wide board folded down from the wall, and was used for dining. The head of the household always sat in the chair while everyone else ate sitting on the floor. Occasionally, a guest who was usually a man would be invited to sit in this chair during a meal. To sit in the chair meant you were important and in charge. They call the one sitting in the chair the chairman. Today in business, we use the expression or title chairman or chairman of the board. Okay, I believe that one. Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. There would be one chair and a full down table. I don't think I believe that. Do you? Personal hygiene left much room for improvement. As a result, many women and men had developed acne scars by adulthood. I don't trust anything that phrases things women and men. It sounds wrong. It sounds like my daughter when she goes, "Oh, I'm going to get there sometime between 3 and 2:30. Who the hell speaks that way? The women would spread beeswax over their facial skin to smooth out their complexions. When they were speaking to each other, if a woman began to stare at another woman's face, she was told, "Mind your own beeswax." Should the woman smile, the wax would crack, hence the term, crack a smile. In addition, when they sat too close to the fire, the wax would melt, therefore the expression, losing face. I don't think I believe that at all for a second. Let's see this. Let's go back over this. Women would spread beeswax over their facial skin to smooth out their complexions. Mind your own beeswax so that it wouldn't crack. Crack a smile. I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to those. I don't know. I'm not buying that one too much. Ladies wore corsets, which would lace up in the front. A proper and dignified woman, as in straight-laced, wore tightly tied lace. I think I believe that one. Oh, is that why it says loose? Because you were loose-laced? Loosely tied? Interesting. feel like I shouldn't talk about women being loose or tight. Terrible. Anyway. Common entertainment included playing cards. However, there was a tax levied when purchasing playing cards, but only applicable to the ace of spades. To avoid paying the tax, people would purchase 51 cards instead. Yet, since most games require 52 cards, these people were thought to be stupid or dumb because they weren't playing with a full deck. There was a tax on the ace of spades. I don't believe that. Do you believe that? Somebody research. Double check this. Where's our fact checker? Snopes. We know not to trust Snopes, but anyway. Early politicians required feedback from the public to determine what the people considered important. Since there were no telephones, TVs, or radios, the politicians sent their assistants to local taverns, bars, and pubs. They were told to go sip some ale and listen to people's conversations and political concerns. Many assistants were dispatched at different times. You go sip here, and you go sip there. The two words go sip were eventually combined when referring to local opinion, and thus we have the term gossip. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like these are those kind of things that they all fit too well to just see how dumb we are. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe we're all dumb together. At local taverns, pubs, and bars, people drank from pint and quart-sized containers. A barmaid's job was to keep an eye on the customers and keep the drinks coming. She had to pay close attention and remember who was drinking in pints and who was drinking in quarts. Hence the term minding your P's and Q's. Damn, I believe that one. That makes sense. One more, and betting you didn't know this. In the heyday of sailing ships, all warships and many freighters carried iron cannons. Those cannons fired round iron cannonballs. It was necessary to keep a good supply near the cannon. However, how to prevent them from rolling about the deck? The best storage method devised was a square-based pyramid with one ball on top, resting on 4, resting on 9, which rested on 16. Thus, a supply of 30 cannonballs could be stacked in a small area right next to the cannon. There was only one problem: how to prevent the bottom layer from sliding or rolling from under the others. The solution was a metal plate called a monkey with 16 round indentations. However, if this plate were made of iron, the iron balls would quickly rust to it. The solution was to the rusting problem was to make brass monkeys. Few landlubbers realized that brass contracts much more and much faster than iron when chilled. Consequently, when the temperature dropped too far, the brass indentations would shrink so much that the cannonballs would come right off the monkey. Thus, it was quite literally cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. This time you thought that was an improper expression. All this time you thought that was an improper expression, didn't you? So as cold as a monkey's balls is a reference to cannonballs. And in classic, oh my God. All right. So anyway, so the email concludes: if you didn't send this fabulous bit of historic knowledge to any and all of your unsuspecting friends, your floppy is going to fall off your hard drive and kill your mouse. So there's the subtle threat, which was classic of these email chains. And this one obviously joking and it's serious. But most importantly, this was sent from AOL Mobile Mail on the AOL mobile app, which I can't believe exists. AOL still exists. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. I guess if you have any funny things like this, or ridiculous, what are they called? Boomers. Maybe even older than that. I'm not sure. If you have any of those, you can send them my way. Make me laugh, and I'll read them up here. So enjoy freezing your balls off.